don't know if it's just because I'm getting older now or what, but I feel like Gervonta is a hell of a fighter, but he needs to get his mental together. When I hear some of his interviews and I see some of the stuff that he's saying, I can just tell that he's not in love with the sport no more. I can tell that he didn't get his just due. I mean, it was crazy to hear that he said he got evicted out of a house or something like that.
Gervonta Davis just humiliated Claressa Shields after she dropped a bombshell and gave the athlete a reality check. Turns out, training isn't what Tank needs to come out on top in the highly anticipated Lamont Roach rematch. It's therapy instead. Yes, you heard that right.
Cards. Judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
We're used to seeing Gervonta Davis beef with other fighters. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, you name it. But this time, he's taking shots at Claressa, the self-proclaimed GWOAT, the undisputed champ in 3 different weight classes and one of the most dominant female boxers in history.
Obviously, there's been a little back and forth with you and Tank. Any thoughts on that?
Tank.
There you go.
Weirdo.
So he gonna be here tomorrow, right? He's got his press conference.
I don't give a damn where he gonna be at. I won't be there.
There you go. There you go.
That's all I got to say to him. And I hope Frank Martin tear his ass everywhere but loose.
No Diddy. Thank you, Tank.
Now, we all know that Tank has been going through a lot lately. His controversial draw with Lamont Roach, questions about his commitment to boxing, and constant drama with Floyd Mayweather. But when Shields stepped in and said he might need therapy, Tank did not take that well. He fired back in a way only Gervonta Davis can, straight up humiliating Shields on social media and in interviews. So, what did Claressa actually say? Did she cross the line, or was she just keeping it real? And why is Tank acting like she just disrespected his entire existence? Let's break this all down.
I could have stopped him. Could have stopped him. It's me. It's me. Definitely my fault. Definitely my fault. It's all right. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me too. That was on me for sure. Cause I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up, and I could have definitely did more. Definitely did more. Just a lot going on. But again, it was myself, you know. But you gotta go to the gym and, get back to the drawing board and, train a little harder.
Get this. Claressa Shields didn't hold back when talking about Gervonta Davis in a recent interview. In fact, she sounded more concerned than anything. I feel like Gervonta is a hell of a fighter, but I feel like he needs to get his mental together, Shields told Fight Hub TV. She pointed out that Tank hasn't seemed the same lately. His attitude, his mindset, even the way he's talking about boxing. According to Shields, it looks like he's fallen out of love with the sport. And then she hit him with the real talk. I think he would be better, and even a better fighter if he went and did therapy like ASAP. Because I can tell he's a little sad, little depressed.
He don't want to be there. I think he would be better, and even a better fighter if he went and did therapy like ASAP. Because I can just tell like he's a little sad, he's a little depressed, even before this fight.
Shields wasn't trying to disrespect him. She was just saying that whatever Tank is going through, he needs to handle it before stepping back into the ring with Roach. But we all know how Tank operates. He doesn't like anyone telling him what to do. And within hours of this interview dropping, Tank was already clapping back. It didn't take long for Tank to shut that whole conversation down. In classic Gervonta Davis fashion, he hopped on social media and let loose. One of his now deleted tweets read, "I'm good over here. Y'all love talking like you know me. Stay in your lane. I ain't need therapy when I was knocking dudes out left and right." And that wasn't all. He also threw some shots at Claressa's own career, saying, "Focus on your own fights. Y'all always in my business. Go get some knockouts instead of all these decisions." Tank basically told Claressa to mind her own business and stop trying to act like his therapist. But here's the thing. This isn't the first time we've seen Tank react like this when someone questions his mindset.
I think that Lamont has the mental edge. I think anybody right now would have a mental edge over Tank because, to me, he just needs to take some serious time to deal with whatever he's having to deal with. Nobody knows what it is, but I mean, me being a fighter, I have done plenty of camps where I was depressed and where I was going through anxiety. So it's not an easy thing to get over, especially when you don't have the support from certain people that you used to have. Um, you're not motivated and stuff like that. So it can be very, very tough. So I just hope that he gets the help he needs. And I think Lamont Roach did a great job that fight. I think if he'd been a little bit more aggressive, he could have really won, like a unanimous decision. But he kept stepping off the gas.
Claressa wasn't the only one talking about Tank's mental state. Legendary promoter Bob Arum also had some strong words about Tank after the Roach fight.
I thought Roach won the fight. It was a close fight.
You see Davis again?
I think Davis has to start taking boxing seriously. You know, it's not just a media kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know the kid, but he seems sort of ordinary.
In that fight, do you think, he wins the rematch, though? Perhaps he comes in with a better mindset?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know the kid.
Yeah.
I think Davis has to start taking boxing seriously. You know, it's not just a media kind of thing, but he seemed sort of ordinary. And that's the key takeaway here. Before the Roach fight, nobody ever called Gervonta Davis ordinary. He was always the monster in the ring, the knockout king, the guy who made his opponents fear for their lives. But in his last fight, he looked vulnerable.
Like, look, if this motivates you, Tank, you know, the fact you got to draw, the fact that you had a big fight lined up with Jake Paul after this, and now you got to wait, and now you got to do this rematch, bro. If this don't motivate you, I don't know what will. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, his name right now is getting drugged through the mud. You know, and all those fans that was on his side, bro, a lot of them are switching teams now, you know? So, you know, look, he got a lot to prove, not only to himself, but a lot to prove to his fans and his fan base out there. So he go back in there, had his rematch, and he do what he's supposed to do, like he's supposed to do the first time around, then all the that happened in the pad, it swept under the rug, because that's just how, you know, the fans is and the sport is. You know, and then he moves on to bigger things. I guess Jake Paul's that guy.
We hope Shakur, but...
Of course. I mean, look, we love sports, bro. We want to see him against Shakur. We want to see him against the best fighters out there, you know. But obviously, from what I see and the way he's moving, I don't think those fights are going to happen.
Think about it. Tank Davis, the undefeated knockout artist, the so-called boogeyman of the lightweight division, took a knee. And not because of some freak accident, not because of a slip, but because Lamont Roach was breaking him down piece by piece.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
No, well, honestly, I haven't watched the fight. We had a show that night. I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, oh, that, you know, he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation for me. Like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
That moment should have been ruled a knockdown, period. Roach caught him with a perfectly timed counter-right hook to the temple, right after setting him up with crisp, calculated jabs. Tank's legs buckled, and instead of firing back, he voluntarily took a knee. That's a veteran move, sure, but it's also a sign of a fighter who's feeling the pressure.
This is my opinion. Sure. It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision, or if, I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw. No, if you take the knee, man, if you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, you know, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. You know, the referee with the eyes, you know, he's like, a point should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not, look, did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed? Who knows? Only he knows. But what I saw, when you take a knee, that's an automatic point. That's just the rule. This is not basketball. This is not, you know, this is not basketball where, wait, hold on, my ankle hurts. Hold on, let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, I mean, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what New York is gonna settle on, but the rules are the rules.
The fact that referee Steve Willis ignored the knockdown call is still one of the biggest controversies of the fight.
The rules that he didn't get hit with a punch. He didn't turn his back like he wanted to quit. It's just like when you get a thumb in the eye, it's a foul.
He did turn his eye. He did turn his back.
But he didn't turn his back like he was going to quit. Like you've seen some guys turn it. He obviously mentioned that he had something in his eye, and it wasn't from a punch. It was time in between the shots. I think that by the time he wanted that, or he took a knee. But I think in the rules it states that you're allowed to do that. If you go back and you read some of the rules, I know a lot of people are complaining about it, but I think it was upheld in New York that it was okay for him to do that. I think part of the rules state that it was okay. As a coach on the other side, I would have.
Yeah. Of course, right? Of course.
I would have thrown a fit, man.
But the knee was just the tip of the iceberg. From the opening rounds, it was obvious something was off about Tank. His reflexes, usually razor-sharp, looked a split second behind. His signature counterpunching, slower than usual.
He should have lost the fight. I mean, he should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticised the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight Shakur Stevenson, I think. But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight. So, yeah, I think he'll be more switched on for this maybe, but Roach is a good fighter. It won't be easy.
He was smothering his own offense, getting caught in Roach's clinches instead of breaking free and resetting. His footwork, usually an underrated weapon, was sluggish, allowing Roach to cut off angles and walk him down. Tank was fighting in spurts instead of dictating the pace like he usually does. And that's why Roach was able to outwork him. His gas tank seemed weaker. His mental focus wasn't there, and by the time the later rounds hit, he knew he was in trouble. The 9th round knee just confirmed it.
I thought you were winning rounds. What was your thought on it?
I thought I was winning rounds too.
Yeah.
Like the criteria for boxing, okay, if a guy is coming forward or if a guy is controlling the ring or whatever the case may be, using ring generalship to box.
Claressa thinks that's because his mind isn't in the right place. Bob Arum thinks it's because he's not taking boxing seriously anymore. Either way, it's clear something is off with Tank.
That people want to discredit Tank, and he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
But the biggest question now is he just in his feelings, or is he actually scared?
Shakur is the best. To me, he's better than Tank. He's better than Devin. He's better than Ryan. He's better than Tiafimo. When it comes to those weight classes, Shakur to me is the best. He is me. I tell him all the time, you ain't got to prove nothing to them fucking casuals. Ain't never laced up, and you think Shakur got to prove something to you. You sound stupid. Go glove up first. I done seen that boy do some miraculous things inside of a gym. Beat guys up from his weight class all the way up to 178.
Because, you know, the big one, they want, you know, Shakur and Tank. That's the one everybody talking about. That's the one they want. Tank is
be mad at me, boy, and that lead up.
You gonna go crazy in that?
Y'all be calling me ugly for real then?
Do you think that's a 50-50?
I'm not gonna ever, like, dismiss a fighter. Like, I think that Tank got some great skills and got some hard-ass punches. Like, he's so explosive, but so is Shakur. Shakur has, to me, faced harder challenges than...
Let's be real. Tank isn't just mad at Claressa Shields. The truth is, he knows this rematch with Lamont Roach is a bigger problem than he expected. This isn't just about proving people wrong. It's about proving to himself that he's still the same Tank Davis who knocks guys out cold.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute. You definitely might see it in a minute.
But deep down, there's doubt creeping in. Roach did what nobody thought he could. He took Tank's best shots and kept coming forward. He made Tank look human. He didn't just survive, he thrived in that ring, exposing holes in Tank's defense and making him work harder than he has in years.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe short out his eye, he had to wipe short out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic game. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing. So I'm not really that frustrated about that. But if that was kind of a knockdown, I would win the majority decision.
And the worst part? Many believe he should have won. That no knockdown controversy, the judges' scorecards, it all adds up to one simple fact. Tank got lucky, and that eats away at him.
He got lucky as a draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Because if Roach nearly beat him once, what happens in the rematch when the underdog has even more confidence? When the world is already questioning if Tank's lost his hunger? When even his own peers are saying he's mentally checked out? This isn't just a rematch. It's a battle for Tank's legacy. And right now, he knows he's got everything to lose.
What does the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So
Did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff. I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's going to be the same fighter throughout his career. So
If that 9th round knockdown had been counted properly, Roach would have walked away with the belts. Wysack even admitted that things went wrong in that fight, but they still refused to overturn the decision. Now, with the rematch set in stone, Tank doesn't have time to pick an easier opponent or wait for Roach to get old.
People say Tank didn't really win. They got the majority draw, which means it had to be a close fight, maybe a tough one to call. At the end of the day, when it's a draw like that and an action-packed fight, run it back, I'm pretty sure the fans will watch it one more time.
Should they have called it a knockdown in round 9?
I didn't get to see it, but my one coach said no. A lot of on-takers say yes. I want to watch how it occurred because technically when you take a knee, it's very unfortunate, but if there was some outside factor that did get into his eye, I don't know. You're walking on a gray line, and that's when things aren't necessarily black or white. So it's a tough call, and you don't want one little decision to change the whole fight. But in sports, sometimes it is one thing that a referee does or a judge does that determines who wins and loses. So luckily for him, he did not have such a scenario because obviously the fight was close enough that if the point was deducted, he would have walked away not world champion.
This fight is happening, whether he likes it or not. And that's why he's going off on Twitter, coming at Claressa Shields and doing everything possible to shift the conversation.
Clearly in there, man. I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate true boxing media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won. And I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
Hear me out. This fight just keeps getting more and more interesting. First, we had the controversial draw, then the rematch clause drama, and now, Tank is out here beefing with Claressa Shields over mental health talk. But the real question is, does Claressa have a point? Is Tank really losing focus, or is everyone just overreacting? And how do y'all think this rematch is gonna go? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's debate. Do you think Tank will come back stronger, or is Roach about to shock the world for real this time? Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more boxing drama, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. I'll catch you in the next video.